How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the Scratch to Python series. We're going to work on control flow, working with if-else statements. So let's get started. We'll do like we always do with our events. Start off with the click right up top. And we want to ask a question, right? So we're going to look at looks, and we're going to, oh, no, sorry, not looks. We're going to go down to sensing and say, okay, ask, what's your name? And instead, we're going to say, we'll have it look for, we're not going to have a name. We'll do, how about this? We'll say, choose a fruit. All right, we'll do a choose a fruit. 1 for apple, and 2 for, we'll do pears. Now, we want to ask the user for a apple or a pear, basically a selection. So we could leave it like that, but I want to actually put a little extra there. So we'll say enter 1 or 2. That way it's just easier for the user. They realize, oh, okay, yeah, I get it. I had to enter an integer here, so 1 or 2, not just type in apple or pear. So enter 1 or 2. Easy. So if we enter 1, nothing happens. And that's because that answer is saved into this answer pill. Remember, we went over that last time. So we have to do something with that answer pill. And we can. We can actually go down here to operators, and we'll pull this up first. We're going to want to look at if it is 1, we'll do something, and if it's 2, we'll do something. So let's go up to control. And we'll say, okay, well, if, then, we'll do a, go up, if then. We'll do an if then right here. Essentially, all we're saying is if the user enters 1, then we'll say, yummy apples. And if they enter 2, well, we haven't got that far yet. So right now, it's just if apple, or if 1, then awesome. So we'll take this comparison, pop it right in there, and we'll say, okay, if, and we will say answer, we got to go up to sensing. If this answer that we get from the user, or this is the question, that answer, 1 or 2, will be saved into this pill. This pill is being put inside this operator inside of a if-else statement, and we are checking to see if the answer is equal to 1. And if it is, then we can come up here and we can actually just print out. We'll look at looks, and we'll say, right here, and we'll say apples are great. And we'll do that. We'll do apples are great. Now, if we run that program and we say, okay, choose a fruit, 1 for apples, 2 for pears, enter 1 or 2, and we hit 1, apples are great. Well, that's awesome. Now, what happens if we enter 2? Nothing, because we haven't handled that case. And since we only have 1 or 2 right now, let's actually go down to the control statements, and this time we'll do an if, then, else. That way we can handle, well, what if it's some other number? Not a problem. So if answer equals 1, well, then, apples are great. But what if answer equals 2? And so we'll go to sensing. We will take the answer. Remember, we're going to check whether, put it right. Oh, we got to put it inside of the comparison operator. So we'll go down here, take our comparison operator, slap it in there, drop our answer in there, and now we're checking for 2. And you could go on and on with 3, 4, 5, 6. You could have 100 items, basically a whole plethora of fruits inside of your basket if you wanted to, and pick which one you were going to use just by saying if the answer equals 2, well, then that's the pears, right? So we can come back up to looks, and this time we will say, so this time if it's pears, instead of apples, we're going to say pears are great. There we go. We'll say that for 2 seconds. Now, if it's not 1 or 2, it's something else. The user typed in an option that we didn't have, then we'll say, okay, well, wrong choice for 2 seconds. So let's run that. Okay, so, choose a fruit. 1 for apples, 2 for pears, enter 1 or 2. We'll do 1. Apples are great. Okay, awesome. We'll run it again. And now we're going to hit 2. Well, pears are great. Okay, what about a third time where we're like, 7. What's 7 give us? A wrong choice. And that allows us to use the user's input and control where it will go inside the program. We gave them 2 options. They had 1 for apples, 2 for pears, or a default. You always want to have like a catch-all at the end. Hey, if you didn't enter 1, you didn't enter 2, then that's all we had for you. So to avoid any sort of issues or problems or bugs that could arise in your code, basically you want to catch all the outliers you can. Basically, if it wasn't 1, if it wasn't 2, then we don't have an answer for you, right? That's it. So if we look at Python, we open up Python here, and we take a look at basically what we're looking at right here. We can say, okay, let's pick a fruit equals. Now in Python, we're going to specify where we want an integer because we're looking for the numbers 1 or the number 2. So we're going to basically cast this whole thing as an integer. So we'll do input and we'll say choose a fruit, 1 for apple, and we'll just do a new line and we'll do 2 for pears. Although we'll probably make it look a little better with a space there, and there we go, pears. Okay. Now, when we run this, we'll do a Python 3 main.py, or you can just click the little plus right there. I always just have a habit of typing it out. I don't know why. Now we have, let's do choose a fruit, and we'll do a new line right here because I'd rather just have it be on a different line if I could. That'll look a little bit better. Fantastic. And we'll get rid of that space. This is just simple pettiness right here. You don't have to do any of that. That was just because I wanted to have it look a little bit better. Now we will hit clear here. Easy. This time we'll hit run, so you can see it works the same. And it's going to run our program. It's going to ask, hey, well, what do you want? You want to choose a fruit, apple or pear? And I'm going to hit 4. No, actually, I'll hit 2. And nothing happens because just like before, we haven't done anything with that information. Awesome. We can do something with it right now. Now that we've had the question proposed, we asked the question, we want to get an answer. Is it going to be 1 or 2? We could say if fruit, because remember that answer is being saved inside of this variable fruit, just like this question is being asked, and this answer is saved inside the variable answer. And then we can compare it to what we'd like. And since we've already cast it as an integer right here, no problem at all. We've cast it as an integer. We can say, is it equal to? And remember, in Python, it's 2 when you're looking for equivalency. So right here, it's using 1 for scratch. It's looking for, is this equal to? And right here, we want to say, hey, is fruit equal to 1? That's what we want to see. Is it the same thing? This would be like an assignment. You're basically saying fruit equals 1. This is comparing, hey, is fruit equals to 1? You see, you're not assigning it a number. You're checking to see if it is equivalent with. And we'll say 1. And then we'll say, okay, awesome. If it is, print, and we'll say print over here. We'll say apples rock. There we go, apples rock. Good stuff. Yummy apples, right? Now, if we run this program, we go down here, we interrupt that. Okay, do it clear if I can. I can't. Oh, I misspelled clear. That doesn't want to clear for me. No problem. So we'll hit run again. Let it go. Run its system. What is going on down here? Okay, there we go. It just got locked up. All right, so we're going to run it again. We'll do Python 3 main.py, easy peasy. Now it's going to ask, choose a fruit or pear. And we're going to say, well, this time we're going to want we'll move this up a little bit. We're going to want we'll do apple. Apples rock. Okay, sweet. So we were able to handle that. We can clear that out real quick. And since we've done that, we can actually come down here and say, hey, elif. Now we could do this one of 2 ways. We could do this the exact same way. We could do if, and we could do fruit equals 2. Then we could print pears rock. If we wanted to. Now we could save that, run this one more time, and we could say, well, 2. And now we have pears rock. Now remember, if we run it a 3rd time, and we put, let's say 5 up there, nothing happens. We don't have that default right now. We check to see if it's 1, we check to see if it's 2, just like we did with Scratch, but we don't have a default. We don't have an else right here. So it's like, okay, well, we could put an else right here if we want. We could do else, and we could say print, and we could say wrong choice. Okay, so let's see what happens if we run that. We run it again, and we say 8, wrong choice. Pretty cool. Now, one thing you can do inside of Python, instead of it being, if, you could do multiple ifs, or you can do something called an if, elif, else. So right now we have, instead of starting off with an if, it would look like this. It'd be if, elif, else. Basically the same thing as, hey, if it's this, okay. If it's this, okay. Otherwise, do this. And you'll see that it's very common to see if, elif, elif. You could have quite a few elifs, actually. You could have 10 items, and the first will be if, the last will be else, and everyone in between will be elif. And that's totally fine. So we can actually turn this number 2 here to elif, and we could say fruit equals 2, And then we could say, okay, we'll print it out and it'll run the program the same way it did before. So we'll run it one more time. And now we can say, okay, well, 8 again. And that's a wrong choice. So all we did was make it say, hey, we check fruits here. And if it's not that one, then we go down to this one. And say, okay, well, is it this one? Okay, well, if it's not fruits or if it's not pears, okay, no problem, then it's the wrong choice. It kind of groups it all together for you and allows you to, instead of just checking 1 and then 1 and then 1, you're like, okay, you have one section here kind of clumped together. It's grouped for the fruit checker, right? You call this the fruit checking section. If it's an apple, awesome. If it's a pear, awesome. If it's not 1 or 2, then it was the wrong choice. And that's how we can use if statements. You can see we could do, just like we did before, 2 if statements, and then end that last one with an else and just print out, hey, man, it was the wrong choice. Or we could do an if, elif, else. And remember, if we wanted a third option, we could do that. If we wanted to come in here and say, okay, we want a third option. We're going to say, finish this off with the third option. We'll say 3, and that'll be, of course, right now, bananas. Bananas. There we go. Or just banana. How about that? And for here, we'll just, instead of making it plural, we'll just make it singular. There we go. Pear, banana, apple. Easy peasy. Now, if we wanted to add that in, we can do that. We can come over here. We go elif fruit equals 3. And then we can print out, just like we did before, B-N-A-S, rock. Bananas rock. There we go. Now we can run that again. We can do python.main, run it. Better if we add the new line. That way it looks, it's just really just a stylization thing. And we're going to back out of that real quick. And then come over here, do that, and do 3. Bananas rock. And so we can have multiple elif statements. And we could do the same thing over here if we want. We add another if right in here if we had wanted to. And continue on just like we have with Python. But that is how we can use if-else statements and put them together in order to control the flow from user inputs to basically avoid getting wrong or bad inputs. 3, 4, 5, 6 would be wrong, or not 3 anymore, but 4, 5, 6 would be wrong inputs, and that could cause problems in our program. So it's better to have a catch-all, which we have right here with our wrong choice option. That's the catch-all for our, hey, it's 1, 2, or 3, easy peasy, and we can catch it if there's a problem. Just like here, if, elif, and else. And that is how we can use if, elif, else statements inside of Python, how we can use control flow inside of Scratch using if and if-else statements. And definitely practice with this. Try to get a good understanding. We will use if and else statements all over the place. You'll notice in programming, it's everywhere. It's a great way to control the flow of user data and just data in general based on certain parameters and conditions. So make sure you play around with it, have some fun, and we will see you guys in the next one.